Welcome to Start Before You're Ready, the podcast that proves that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin your journey towards better health and happiness. I'm your host, Kelly Young. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but it's always worth taking. Hey guys, it's Kelly, and I'm back with another episode of Start Before You're Ready. We are doing an evening recording, something a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but once you get to meet my guests, you will understand why it's worth it to stay up a little later. My guest today's name is Chris Kerns, and Chris and I have been friends for, at least 30 years. I met Chris when I was managing a health club in Richmond, Virginia. I was the assistant general manager at the Northside American Family in Richmond, Virginia. It was an incredibly glamorous job where I got to wear a lot of different hats. And one of the hats that I wore was I managed the cafe. And the cafe was a hot spot back then at the Northside American Family. We had a lot of, I'll call them meatheads, that wanted their protein shakes, and we did vegetables and chicken. We did all kinds of things. Well, I guess Chris probably wanted a free membership. So he came to work. I don't know if that's why you came, but he came to work at the American Family Cafe, and he was 16 years old. And when I think about that now, having seen my kids at 16, he was pretty impressive. He was a pretty impressive guy because he talked to everybody. You instantly fell in love with him. And let's just say,
I know it was impressive about showing up late, like 80% of the shifts I work, but appreciate it. Yeah.
80% is generous. I would be there on the weekend, and the cafe was supposed to open at 9:00. And I'd be like looking at the clock, and I'd be like, okay, it's 9:00 and he's not even here. And then I would go open the cafe. And then back then everything was a landline, and I would call and you'd say you're on your way. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd be back in the cafe making shakes and doing all the things. And you would show up at some point, but you always said something nice or got out of it somehow. So that's our beginnings, but that's just the beginning. And I really wanted to have Chris on as a guest on my podcast because he is someone that really walks the walk. And even back when he was 16 years old, finding a way to have a gym membership. And even back then, he was version of healthy. He was conscientious about what he was eating, and he was into gaining muscle. And if you see him, which I'll make sure you do, he's a very big guy. He's a lot of muscle to keep on that body. So it's a big job to do what he's doing. But he has become a dear family friend. He is not just a friend to me. He's one of my husband's best friends. And he is an uncle to my 3 boys, Dalton, Brandon, and Cameron. And of course, Lindsay, and my daughter, Lindsay. Chris now has 2 daughters, Scotty and Andy, who are the sweetest, cutest, best versions of what a little girl could look like. They're just so much fun. He's married to Amy, who we also adore. We've gotten to have some amazing memories with Chris and his entire family, and it's just been great. So, Chris?
Yeah, my name's Chris Kerns. I've probably met hopefully a lot of you at KBC over the years. I actually used to live in Andrew and Kelly's basement when the boys were 5, 4, and 2. So yes, been to a lot of classes. Actually, I was thinking about this, Kelly. Went to the very first energy class in the studio. Just showed up. It was invite only.
You surprised me. Oh, I looked at it.
Yeah, but it was like a closed class. Yeah, so I live in Richmond now with my beautiful wife and 2 beautiful daughters. I love it. The Youngs have been like just the best of family friends. Like, how great they've been and instrumental they've been in our lives. I can't even begin to explain. Andrew and Kelly are both readers at our wedding, which I think I always forget, which is awesome. Just a lot of love. And I tell you, I love the KBC community.
Yes, we
I know
are.
I probably don't know many of you guys, but I know you see the My Zone app because every time before I work out, I look at where I'm at on those monthly challenges, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to run. I don't even know you, but I'm like putting images in my head of like how I'm going to like chase you down and get more points in you. So thank you guys for that. Cause I literally am like, yeah, man, I literally am like I literally think I have two my zones because like if one, I just like throw the other one on if it won't charge right.
He's like,
But
Min, I'm coming for you.
thank you for that. That's been a huge inspiration and like really hold me accountable. And I think that's awesome because like I don't even know half the people on that
Oh
leaderboard,
my
and
gosh.
I love you for like pushing me, and then I also kind of hate you because I want to beat you. So take that as a compliment. I hope.
Absolutely incredible that you earned that many MEPs just without, I do want to talk about that a little bit, Chris. So let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to when you were in high school. Like, what was your drive to work out back then?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say like, it's Kelly said I am a big guy, but I come from a large line of probably big people, and you know, probably not the best metabolism, probably, so I think like it could very easily like go one way or the other. And I just like got into, very fortunate, I got into fitness at a young age and just kind of like working in that gym environment, just being around healthy people, I think was a huge building block, like building my foundation and just kind of always wanting to like, as I get just like know what it likes to, just feel good. And like when you're, and healthy and just in good physical fitness, just like always kind of like almost getting addicted to that feeling when I was young, and just like this feeling of like when you go through a hard workout, how the endorphins are just like through the roof, and like just really enjoying that feeling. And also just kind of like always wanted to do something hard and kind of challenge myself. And yeah, just kind of wanting to make sure I stay on the right side of the big genes I've been given.
Yeah, well, you've done it. You've done a great job of that, Chris. And I think also, I think I speak for both of us when you when I say that I think fitness is like a way to kind of relieve anxiety. Like you have like anxious energy, and working out is a way to help with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I definitely say like since I've had kids, like one of the things I noticed is like I come home and it's you kind of stressed out from the workday, and then the kids are there. I love the kids, but it's like it's a lot going on. It's like I kind of found these like little 20-30 minute workouts I would do right when I got home of like, and I mean I'm just gonna be honest, like it's either like I'm gonna go out here and like really like burn off the steam, or like do I just like crack a beer? And it's just kind of like knowing that like how I want to feel, and like just making sure like I'm trying to do the right things. So that, yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of nervous energy. I'm probably got a few too many screws loose, but I kind of like sound like I like burning the wick at both ends as much as I can. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those things.
No, that's great. And you're very self-motivated. So recently we were in Annapolis with the Kerns family, and I like looked out the window and Kerns is just doing burpees. Like both days, woke up, just 20 minutes, puts his MyZone on and just does. I'm like, who does that? I mean, you are the most motivated, and there was a rough night the night before. You just are
Sunday
so,
was Sunday was not pretty, but we got through it.
yeah. I mean, I was just like, I mean, I'm so proud of you, Chris, that you've carried that on over the years. And I know your why is pretty big. Like you mentioned, you feel like you've got family history that you don't want to repeat, and that you want to do everything in your power to stay healthy, and that fitness and exercise is at the top of the list. But I just still am super, super impressed with you because you find a way to get it done no matter what. I mean, I've been at my house with you. We were throwing balls against the garage and running laps and do it. And Dalton, my kids, it will say too that like, you're so intense when you work out, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I just did like, especially like with kids now, it's like I always try to make sure I find that time in the morning, like on the weekends, to like get it in, because it's like, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like when you don't, you just feel off, and it's like I just feel like I'm a better, hopefully the best version of myself. But if not,
Yep.
I'm better than I would have been if I didn't. So,
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Well, so yeah, so Chris stayed with us. So this is actually a funny story. Chris and I Andrew knew Chris and they were friends, but not like we were friends because we had worked together. Chris actually when he was in high school, would watch our dog Cassius when we go on vacation. And that's a whole nother story. If you give a high school kid your house and say, do whatever you want, they're going to have a little bit of fun, but that was fine. And then when he graduated from JMU, he got a job in Northern Virginia. Was that your first job out of college?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had just moved here. We hadn't been here for very long. We moved here when Cameron was a baby. So it was 2004. And I was like, Chris, and I moved from Richmond. So I knew what Richmond was like, and I knew what Northern Virginia was like. And back then, Northern Virginia, in my opinion, was a nightmare. It was the worst traffic. It was so expensive to live. It was just like a whole new world. And I was like, don't get an apartment yet, because you don't know your commute until your commute. I don't want you to have to you be stuck in the car for an hour or whatever. Like, come stay with us, figure out your job, figure out what's going to happen, and we can go from there. And and you were like, oh, Kelly, that sounds great. Are you sure? You're sure? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then I told Andrew that night, he's like, don't you think you should have asked me before you asked someone to live with us? I was like, not really. But they totally backfired, because I had 3 little boys under the age of 3, or 3 and under, 4 and under. I guess you said they were 5 when you lived here. Okay, so they were a little bit older.
5, 4, and 2, I believe.
That's probably.
But Dalton wasn't in kindergarten though, so I don't know if that's right.
Well, somewhere around there. It was a couple of years maybe after we moved here. And so Andrew, I'd be like putting the kids down and doing all the stuff. I'd be like, where's Andrew? I go, he's in the basement with Kerns, like his buddy. Like, he was back in college, the 2 of them down in the basement, hanging out, watching football. I was like, this is my error. But for real, Chris, you helped me a ton. And now as a parent, you probably understand. You come home from the store, you've got all the stuff, the kids need something. You would run out to the car and bring in all the stuff, or you'd take the boys down the basement and play with them, or even before you left for work in the morning, you and I'd be like, you gotta go, Chris. You gotta go. You'd be like, Kelly. I'd be like, you're gonna be late.
Yeah.
You gotta go. I'd be so nervous.
Common theme here.
Common theme. But we love you for it. But yeah, you were a huge help. And I think it was a really great way that you bonded with the kids. You got a taste of what being a parent is like. It's a full-time job. It's nonstop. And you had the energy for it, and you were great. So, and it was fun when well, I guess you didn't live here when we started boot camp, but when you and Amy, before you had kids in particular, you were able to come here a lot, and these are special. Everyone knew who you were. I'd be like, Kerns is coming to boot camp. They'd be like, yeah. Just because you bring the energy and you make it fun and you make everyone laugh, and you say whatever you want to me, which back then they wouldn't do. So they liked that you would just say whatever. So I want to talk about something that you've done that I'm incredibly proud of you for. And it was a huge venture and a huge part of your life. And I want you to tell people about it, just more of the background. And Chris was a leader for a long time.
So, the backstory, in 2016, I have an older sister that passed away from pulmonary embolism. Same thing as my father. And my buddy Jay, came to me. So my buddy Jay Jones, who I started this with. My sister was their family's nanny for the first 2 years of their son's lives. So he's obviously very broken about it. He's a member of their family, and he comes to me with this idea a few months after she passes, that we're going to start this free fitness camp. It's going to be every Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. It's called November Project. They've got it all around the country. And I was just I'm like, no thanks, man. I don't really have any interest in it. I kind of just didn't, just kind of checked out on life, I guess you'd say. And he just kind of kept pushing me. And it honestly, Kelly, got to this thing where I was just like, all right, well, if he's this passionate about it, and he's adamant, that means a lot to me, but I don't think it's going to be successful. I was like, I'm just going to do it because he's going to be my buddy, and he's one of my best friends in the world. I love him to death. And I was like, I'm going to have to go anyway, so I might as well just be a part of it. And it was kind of and I knew nothing about it, right? They're in all over, cities around the world. And so we write this essay and apply and tell them why we want to do it. And they just call us up and they're like, you could do this for 3 years and we'll never even recognize you. Because the whole premise is they want to show that you can develop a following of people that want to come to your workout every Wednesday at 6 a.m. You got to be there every Wednesday, rain or shine. Doesn't matter if it's 16 degrees and pouring down rain. Like it's they say it's weatherproof. So I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna be fun. So we do the first workout. It's like 16 degrees, and I'm like, we're sitting in our cars. I'm like, dude, I don't think anybody's gonna come. Let's just go home. Because it's all word of mouth, like this, and I mean, neither one of us are like social media influencers. I actually joined Instagram because we started that. Anyway, like, so the first workout we have, I don't know, 15, 20 people show up, and then we, kind of pretty exciting. And we tell a bunch of our friends about it. The second workout grows a little more. And like the third workout, I don't know what happened, but like 80 people showed up, and we're like, holy cow. And it was just one of those things, man, that we just, for me, it was like, you just kind of pour like a lot of your pain and your, into like, may feel like a purpose. And it was just kind of went out every Wednesday, and we're like, we're going to have a great time. Let's meet somebody new. Let's just try to, have a good workout and have fun. And, hopefully, people kind of gravitate to it. And I mean, fortunate for us, they did. And, we did it for 6 years every Wednesday. I mean, we'd miss a Wednesday here and there for on vacation, but I mean, I'd say in 6 years, I probably missed, say, less than 10 Wednesdays, because it was like we were just committed to it. We had a great time. And I mean, by the end of it, there was any given Wednesday in the summer, there'd be 200-300 people out there. It was just like a huge movement. It was just kind of like, it was just one of the most kind of, other than my children, I'd say like one of the things I'm most proud of that I can say like I stamped my name to. It's free. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's just kind of like, I think it just kind of shows like the importance of just when you're committed to something, and like you're pouring you're excited about it. Like the money has no object. And I'd say that was like the coolest thing for me, is just kind of feeling like I was kind of helping make an impact. And kind of something that I always like think about, that, kind of doing it for my sister.
Yeah. Well, a lot of friendships. Well, there's so many things, Chris. I actually think you're underselling it. It's not just the volume of people was directly related to the energy that you and Jay put into it. You did not, you were through the roof. People just, I mean, anybody that got to experience you guys on a Wednesday morning left energized, connected, happy. I mean, the workouts were crazy, first of all. I was like, what is happening? Like the warm up was like burpees. I'm like, oh my God. Like, but people loved it, and they were there for the community. And they were there because it was Richmond. It was something iconic that Richmond did. And I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but not all the November projects around the country have the kind of success that you guys did here in Richmond or in Richmond.
I mean, like they literally told us, they were like, I mean, I think they asked us to become a November project in like 6 weeks. And so it's like the fastest anybody's ever done it. And I mean, it's not boasting. It's just kind of like we had the largest gathering in the country, which we were the smallest city probably per capita. So like I always took a lot of pride in that. And
to get hundreds of people outside.
Again, I don't want to undersell this because not many people know me here, and nobody
Right.
probably knows my buddy Jay Jones, but it never would have happened without him. I mean, he was the brains on the operation. I certainly wasn't the.
But he knew you, Chris, and he knew what you had in you. And maybe at the minute that moment you weren't feeling it, but he knew it could bring you out of the dark. And that's my boot camp. That's what my boot camp did for me too. It brought me out of the dark. It was like a way to give me a purpose and give me something to pour out, to help I'm like, helping other people help me. So, and I think that was the same for you. And I know when your sister passed, I mean, she was so young. How old was she?
So 81, she was just 36.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's devastating beyond words, completely unexpected. And you had every right to be devastated. And I think that Jay, knowing you as as one of your best friends, knew that this would be good for everybody. And everyone knew you. I mean, literally, like you were a little bit like a hero, everyone, you were famous in Richmond, basically. Like, I mean, because we know people in Richmond, and if we talk about the November Project, everyone will be like, "Oh my God, yeah, the November Project, that's awesome. It's amazing." I was always first of all, what is the history behind the November Project? Why did I know the guy started it.
So two guys that started it, they were kind of like a couple years out of college. They both did crew in college, which I had no idea the physicality of that sport, but I guess they were just kind of getting out of shape, and they lived in Boston. So we're going to meet every day through the month of November and work out and run the Harvard Stadium steps. And they did it, and they kind of started getting this small group gathering. And this is crazy. Their names are Brogan, Graham, and Boyan Mandrick. So it's Brogan and Boyan. Like, I didn't even believe it was real when that's what. Awesome guys, man. Just like very similar to like me and Jay. Like Brogan's like the hype man, and Boyan's like the planner and the guy that kind of does everything to make it work, like Jay. And just, yeah, so they started in Boston. It just took off. And then one of the guys moved to San Diego to see if he could start it up. And they were kind of like, maybe we have something here. So for years, that was like their job. They had like Brooks was a sponsor, North Face was a sponsor. Like all these apparel companies would basically just pay them a salary to like keep this kind of grassroots community going.
It's really amazing. I think it's amazing. And you did it for 6 years, and you really, stopped after the girls, because that obviously became
huge credit to Amy too, because even after she knew she was pregnant with Andy, she was like, "Don't stop on account of this." But Jay Jay was doing it with like he had his third kid, and it was like every Wednesday he's rushing home to get him on the bus stop. I mean, the fact that he did it as long as he did was like a miracle, because I still lived in the city, so I could run there, ride my bike there. I was less than 2 miles away. He was like, 15, 20 minutes. And it was just like, I know he definitely hung on, because it was like, I was never not going to do it with him. So he kind of just hung in there.
But it's still going.
Yeah. So we there's some great people doing it now. Let me not sell that. So we just kind of passed it on. Crowd's still going. I think it's that awesome too, because there's people that are going that probably never would have came when me and Jay were running it, and it's just continued to grow. And like, I think as organized as Jay was, like they're kind of young, no kids, so they're doing a great job just continuing to carry it on. It's I still go back. It's still a little bit like love to be back out there, but it's awesome, man. They're doing great, and I couldn't be more happier for them.
And the city of Richmond is okay with it. They approve it.
Yeah, I think the VMFA, like they were very cool for a while, but I think it's I think they're kind of growing a little tired of it. I don't know, but they've been awesome, man. Like the location was unbelievable. Like it's beautiful. So
I love that, Chris. Well, one other thing, so we talked about your sister a little bit, but one of the other things, well, this can help us figure out when you lived with us. But it was so 2008, it was January of 2008 when my father passed away, and Chris was either working in the area. I don't know if you were still living with us at that time. You came back to stay with Cassius because it was sudden, and we had a dog, we had a dog, and we didn't know what to do. And you came back and stayed with him at our house. And then we came back. I just remember sitting around our dining room. It was like all the kids, and we had a nice dinner like the night you came back. And then weeks later, your dad unexpectedly passed. And it was like deja vu. And I was like, you came into my life for a reason. I always said that there was just, you and I were meant to be friends, and both lost our dads in such a short period of time. It was definitely bonded us even further. And
I don't think I've ever told you this, Kelly, but I'll say it now. This is wild. This is to your point of like, but I know for a fact the last time I talked to my dad, it was a Tuesday night, because he passed away on a Wednesday. I was walking into your house. I was coming to go play basketball with Andrew and some of the neighborhood guys. And I was like telling my dad, I was like, all right, man, I got to go. And that was like literally, I remember the last time I talked to him, like standing out in front of y'all's house, like on the side of the driveway. It's just, I don't know if I've ever shared that with you, but kind of your point, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, completely unexpected and hard for your mom. And then you moved back to Richmond. So not just for your mom, but also just, it was the right thing to do at the time. And it is the hardest things are what shape us. And I think to your point, as we talked about earlier, it's like you can't take your health for granted. You feel like you've got some things that you've got to stay on top of. And I think you've done just a really good job with that, Chris. I really do. I do think that you've prioritized taking care of yourself over the years. I've never seen a time when you weren't doing something. You weren't finding some kind of workout to do. And I know you've done spinning. I know you do. Tell us about what you do now.
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of like a product of just having kids, but like for me, again, just like trying to stay consistent, don't have a huge window to work out, and I just kind of found for me, and this might sound crazy to people, but like I've got 30 minutes. I just kind of figured out that I have this burpee routine I do where I do a set number of burpees every minute on the minute. It started out like, all right, let me get to 100, and then I got there, doing eight every minute on the minute. Then it was like, all right, let me try and do 9, let me try and do 10. Got to 100, then it was like 150, and then I think it was April of 2024. No, let me look back. 2023. I just started doing like 200 every day. It just kind of like rain, and that was like the minimum, because it's like, all right, I know I can fit 20, 25 minutes, and I got to commit to this because it's like, it's the best, cardiovascular kind of like whole body workout I can do with the time that I'm allotted. And it's work for me. It's high intensity. An entire year, almost and a half, and the first day I missed was October 18th of 2025, and I was at a weekend golf tournament with one Dalton Young. It was not Dalton's fault that I sucked in. Let me say that. But the streak broke on that day, so that was all self-inflicted, guys. But yeah, anyway, I guess back to my point is just saying, like, it's, for me, it's like it makes me feel good. It's like kind of something that's like mentally I like want to commit to and do every day, because it's like, Kelly, I think you know this better than anybody. It's like, what your body feels like when the machine is running great. You know what it feels like when it's running bad. And it's like, just for me to be like the best at work, the best with my family. It's like I just want to make sure it's like it's run, the engine's running as smooth as it can at all times, and just try to keep it that way. And that's kind of what I found, right? Like me being a bigger running kind of tore me down.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, like, I'm not saying I have the same build as you, but I have similar mechanic, like just like thicker, and like running's, I love running, but it doesn't feel great for me anymore. But like to your point about burpee, I call them squat thrusts because I don't do the jump. Do you do the jump on all 200 of those?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like I'm not jumping up and grabbing rim on a 10-footer or anything, but it's a little.
You're getting a little air.
You could slide a credit card under my feet.
Okay, well, that's a jump as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I mean, but just mechanically, like, yeah, it's a full body movement. You're getting your core, you're getting your shoulders, you're getting your legs. I mean, it's a squat. Thrust, you're getting your core, then you're popping in, then you're popping up, you do your push-ups, you're getting your chest, right?
No, I do push up. Yeah, I do it all the way down the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's pretty brilliant. No shoulder issues?
I mean, like every now, it's a little, if you don't, it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. That's what I always say. So we go to University of Richmond.
What about when you go to Richmond? What about when you go to the field? What do you do at the field?
The intramural field's there. So a lot of similar things. I will take the kettlebells and do like, I got 2 52.5-pound kettlebells, farmer walks, kettlebell swings, a lot of burpees, a lot of sprints. Just kind of like, just keep everything like real high intensity. Like we'll, like if we got a little half-mile loop, if you do both, it's basically a little short of half a mile if you run both fields. Yeah, we've just been mixing it up, doing that. It's been a blast. They kicked us off for a little summer because they're like, hey, you guys aren't students. So shocker, they figured that out. But anyway, no, I got a bunch, group of guys, Jay and some other friends that we go out there with. It's awesome. So
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
So Chris, do you not lift at all? Do you not like work out in the weight room at all?
I do. Like I'll a little bit, like not like I used to. I mean, I'll try to go at least once a week or, once every 2 weeks I get in there. I bought not the nicest pull-up bar, but a like what collapsible pull-up bar I'll throw out and trying to get like in. It's like pull-ups and dips. And then like I'll do a lot of push-ups with a weighted vest.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm the full camp that you can maintain muscle doing the type of metabolic strength, I'll call it, that you do. I'm especially genetically, you have a ton of muscle. So I mean, I fully believe it. I just was curious if you like still thought you needed to be in the weight room.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wish I could, but it's like, if I don't have like I think before I'd be like, oh, if I can't go to the gym, it'd be like, whatever. Now it's like, there's so many different ways you've got to figure it out. I mean, I think you're a perfect example of that of like, I mean, some of the things you come up with in that parking lot when I'm there, I'm like, where did this come from? Like that rope that I never think is going to be hard. And then like a minute in, I'm like, the little, where you're like doing the partner thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, the
Yeah,
buddy
where you're like
system?
both squatted down and like,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I haven't done that in a while.
you know what I'm talking about? You both start whole. I mean, dude, there's so many things where I've done, like go to your boot camp and I'm like, this is gonna be like whatever. And then like you remember last time I was there, I was throwing punches and you're like, what are you doing? Because I was like, ugh. And the thing that I love about it is like, I mean, I'll be honest. There's times where I like look over and I'm like, dude, like this is like, a woman that's, you're senior and she's kicking your butt, and it's like you gotta be motivated that like just all different, people are out there just, getting after it. Dalton actually, to his credit, unsolicited, was telling me about that. How it's like he'll go out there like now that he's home right now in between seasons, and it's just like crushes them, which is like
Yeah.
awesome.
And he does. And he comes home, he's like, Mom, those people are really strong. I'm like, I know. It's so cute. And he like acknowledges, he's like, why? He's like, he's like, those are hard workouts. And I'm like, I know, but we conditioned to, people new come in and they're not conditioned to it. They're not able to, but once you get conditioned to it, I mean, that's also like the people that are new aren't picking up the heavier weights. They're not, I mean, there's always a way to make it easier. So that's
I've yet to find a way to make it easier, even on days where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to just mail this one in.
You should have seen Andrew this week. So I had Sunday, a dude camp. I really didn't mean to make it that hard, but it was like it was a circuit where they did rope swings. They did 75 rope swings, and then they went and did heavy squats, like plate loaded squats, which we don't do a lot of. And they didn't have to. They could do front loaded, they could do goblet, they could do whatever. But they went back and forth between those two, and that was just one of the three parts of the workout. And the guys were like like bent over and like against the wall. I'm like, guys, this isn't that hard. I feel like this is not something like that you haven't done before. And they're like, it's pretty hard, Kelly. And then the last group, so Jude camp, I don't do it all because it's the dudes and it's their workout, and like I'll warm them up and whatever. But like otherwise, I'm just coaching them and setting stuff up and putting their equipment away and doing all that. I'm just the equipment girl. So, but there was one group that didn't have another side. And I was like, well, I want to do it because I want to see how hard it is. Like, because they were dying. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just wanted to see how hard it was. So I did it, but I didn't go over and do the squats in between. And at the end, I was like, you're totally right, guys. Like, it was bad. And then Andrew was like, he's like, we missed the station where you go like drink water and write on the whiteboard. Cause I like didn't do, I didn't do
What are the what were the weights on the goblet squats? I do those with kettlebells and they're like hard. Like they just suck the wind out of you.
Most of them were using the bar, and I don't know what they had on it, but probably a lot. And that was the thing. They got out of squats when the guys finished their 75 ropes. So it was like 75 ropes, and
like you would think the squats aren't going to kill you, but yeah.
Yeah, but then so Monday night was another workout that was really. I've been doing on Mondays. I've been doing like I will send these to you, Kerns. You would love them. They're like these challenges, like AMRPs, and like this is a 400 rep challenge where you do like 100 squat presses, not all at once. You break it up. 100 Dynamax ball like sit ups, 100 plie squats, and 100 deadlifts. So it's 400. It takes a long time. You could break it up however you want. You could do it in tens. You could take a break or whatever. So Andrew did that on Monday. And then Tuesday he was off. And I was like, are you coming to class? He's like, what time is it at? And it's been at 6:30 for 15 years. I'm like, 6:30. And he's like, is it an hour? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just stay for 45 minutes. I'm like, you don't have to get, like, the hour was so mental for him. But he's still, I mean, he's doing the best he can. Um,
That's crazy, like.
that's 3 days in a row. He doesn't usually complain. He likes to work hard, but he needs new hips and he's hurting. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, this is something that I remember you as when you were you weren't a kid, but you were a young man when you stayed at our house. You were still conscientious about what you ate, and I like used you as an example to my family because we were going to Dalton's game and we're driving in the car. I guess we were going up to Pennsylvania, so it was a longer trip. And you pull out like a bag of pistachios, a bag of meat, like beef jerkies, and I'm like, "What? You rock, Chris! You rock!" Because you had all that good food like ready to go. And I just tell my kids, I'm like, "Listen, I'm like." It's the food that he's bringing is so much better than like what you're going to get at a gas station. He's saving money, he's saving time. You have to run and get something. I'm like, it's so smart just to have like those kind of things you can have on you. You can keep them in your bag, keep them in your whatever. So anyway, talk to us a little bit about that. Like what drives you to continue to, I know you have pizza nights and I know all that, but like in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I think one, just like, again, like when I was younger, just kind of like being, kind of like the pudgy kid for a couple of years in high school, and just kind of like, I'd like, I want to be in shape, and like I literally would take like 2 chicken breasts every day for lunch, and then my mom would make me, in high school, my mom would make me a dozen egg whites, and she would tell me like I'd come downstairs and like she's like, God forbid I drop a yolk in there because all hell's gonna break loose. I mean, I'm not saying a dozen egg whites every morning, but I'd say more often than not I did. Just like, just trying to be like healthy. And then, I definitely like go through like peaks and valleys like anybody. I feel like I've been on a pretty good run lately where it's like knowing what feels good. And, I'm in outside sales for work, so I'm always in my car. So just trying to have things that are like accessible. So it's, I'm not stopping and like grabbing like, even like something you think is healthy now, like not saying it's not, but like go grab like a sub or try to make it as healthy as you can. Like just the way like my body feels after I eat something, I'm just like a couple of weeks ago we were going to take the girls apple picking, and Amy's like, oh well, like, and they've never had like fast food based other than like Chick-fil-A. She's like, oh, we'll pick up McDonald's, we'll get McDonald's breakfast. This will be like a fun little thing for them. I mean, I used to love like McDonald's breakfast. I mean, I literally took one bite of this egg McMuffin, and I was I mean, I tried to like eat half of it, and like me and Amy were both talking about like how terrible we felt like all day. And I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with those things. I'm just saying like I feel like once you feel like again like what your body feels like when you're putting a good like the things that you feel like that you kind of narrow down that help that make you feel good. It's like just kind of want to stay in that lane and just kind of think about it. So like I go to basically Costco and just load up on things that I think my wife would probably like me to get off the protein bars because she's super Bobby approved and things like that. But
Yeah. Amy is, I mean, she's amazing. Like she really does I mean, I give credit to both of you, but like the way that she feeds those girls and their palate, because that's what they've known. I mean, it is amazing what they'll eat. They're such diverse palates. They'll eat like any fruit or vegetable, they're such great eaters, and that's all. And Amy, I mean, it is amazing. She always bought the best quality food like that. And of course I love that. I mean,
well, and I mean no, but like I think like it was kind of something we learned like just like being at your house, like watching the kids just eat like hard boiled eggs and like they eat just like avocados and just like how like it was like crazy how at the time looking back on it, especially then, is like they just it was always like eggs and like a bagel or just like how well they ate. And just I think Amy's she's really good at kind of taking note of those things. And I mean, I just thought it was amazing that Gons would eat like 6 hard-boiled eggs at one time at like 2 years old.
Scrambled. They were scrambled. I can't make hard-boiled eggs. They weren't hard-boiled. Sometimes maybe, I don't know. But I will tell you a funny Brandon story that you'll love. So Brandon and Amy, this is unrelated to Brandon and Amy being, but like I don't know why they're very close. Like because they're witty and they have like I don't know, they're just funny together. But Brandon said to me one time, well, he said to one of his friends at the house, he because I don't know, the kid was like wanted junk or wanted something, and Brandon goes, "My mom doesn't have a pantry because she wants us to eat healthy because in my house didn't have a like it didn't have like all the other houses had like a pantry. You walk in and we didn't have one. He thought I didn't want one. I'm like, of course I want a pantry. This house just doesn't have a pantry. It has nothing to do with healthy. But yeah, and they would say things to me like
What?
nobody wants to
That's
eat here
crazy,
because of your
man.
bread. Like the kids were like scared. I'm like, I think they're gonna be okay. But but I was not, I mean, and I'm sure, just like you said about McDonald's, like, I wasn't like, I really don't think I was crazy. I think I was like balanced about it. I mean, we had lots of things in the house that I wouldn't consider the healthiest food. We didn't have junk. We didn't have chips. We didn't have that. We didn't have snacky junk, but they put cheese in their eggs. They ate a lot of bacon. There's foods that we eat that definitely like aren't the best, but they're real food, I guess is what. And that's what I see you and Amy do too. And that's what makes me especially
Yeah,
proud.
no, she's great. But Scotty always goes, "Daddy, I have an adventurous palate."
Oh, she's so cute. That's exactly her
Yeah,
voice too. That's
yeah,
exactly her
she's.
voice. Yeah, they're so sweet. They're so sweet.
They asked me.
I love
Scotty
that.
asked me to date real quick because she could be an Eagles fan the other day.
Oh.
She goes, Daddy, the lacrosse boys and Uncle Andrew and Aunt Kelly and Mac and she goes, can we be
Oh
Eagles
my
fans?
God.
I was like, well, sweetie, we kind of root for the Commanders in this house, and I go, you can root for them if they're not playing the Commanders. She goes, okay, so Monday night, who's on the Eagles? She's like, Daddy, we get to root for the Eagles tonight, and I was like, awesome.
If it's not like, yes, I can. Like a lot of my friends like the Redskins and they had that's what gets me is like their fathers love the Redskins and their father had passed away. And I was like, oh my God, if the Redskins win the Super Bowl, it'll be amazing because Julie's dad or and it's just like, you can't do that. I'm like, well, I do. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it's been so fun to talk to you. And I am just so impressed with your family and you. And it's been such an honor to know you since you were a kid, really, and to just see. And it's helped me as a mom because other times when like my kids were in like teenage years and I'd be like, question mark, like worried. I'm like, well, look at Kerns. He came out okay. He's fine. So it kind of I gave you a preview of the baby years and you gave me a preview of the young adult years or the young man years. So you have been a blessing to our entire family. Our biggest fan, any of my kids, any sport he's been to every single college. He's been to Champ, he's been to Freedom, he's been to basketball tournament, he's been to it all. It's been so much fun to talk to you. And hopefully our listeners got some great advice on just figuring it out, fitting it in. And the My Zone, as Chris mentioned earlier, has been, even though he doesn't work out with the people in our community, he doesn't even know those top people, but he competes with them. He tries to beat them, which I think is great. I told my class tonight, and they didn't like it very much. I said, if you're not trying, I was talking about competition. I said, the day you stop competing is the day you stop winning, right? You got to compete. You got to compete. You got to stay in the game, right? Doesn't matter, but you got to try to up yourself. You're not necessarily the person next to you. So, yeah. I know. I love it. I love it. Are you in our MEP challenge for Greg?
Oh
If you haven't, we need you, Kerns, because we're trying. We had a one of our very dear friend of mine passed away last month, and we as a community are trying to earn his. He loved the My Zone. He was like you. He loved the My Zone, and it would motivate him. He didn't do like crazy like as many as you do, but like when he was having a bad month, he'd like just like in the end of the month, like run 10 miles, do something to get his maps. It really motivated him. So we're trying to earn his lifetime maps just all together, like one big team. So we could use you.
I just joined. Let's do it.
Let's
whatever it is,
go.
I'll chain myself to a treadmill the last day of the month if that's what it takes.
All right. I know you will, Chris. I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all. I'll do a little extra.
Kelly, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. I feel like it was just me and Kelly chatting like we do most of the time, just reminiscing. So,
That's all it is. That's what I
no,
told you.
you're absolutely amazing. I would teach one class a week. Can I ask you one question before we leave? I would teach one class a week at November Project. There'd be days I'd show up and I'd be like, man, I don't feel like doing this. And like 10 minutes in, I'd zap out of it and I'd be like, and like, do you ever run out of energy? Because I've literally never seen you at a camp where I'm like, be like, never walked away being like, yeah, she did have it that day. Like every single day, it's like, do you just like thrive off the energy of everybody else there? Because
I get energy from other people. That's what it is. I'm tired. A lot of times I'll go in, especially at night. I'm a morning person. I wake up and I'm like, boom, I can go, I can do anything. But at night, I definitely I hit a wall in the afternoon. And then as soon as I walk in the door, I see people and I'm like, let's go, that's all you need.
man.
But I don't have to do the workout again. I just coach it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sick of it. And I'm still lit up every class I teach. There's always somebody, there's always some kind of connection. There's always something special. It's like, it's just, there's moments that make it all worth it. Like, even if you don't feel like it, you're like, okay, you see this person that has a personal best, or just it looks so happy, or they all come in, especially at night, they all come in really tired and their shoulders are forward and they're just like, and then they leave and they're like talking and laughing. And I'm like,
awesome.
this is, if I can continue to give this out, I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can. That's what I was put on this earth to do.
I mean, you're amazing at it, and it's been so awesome watching you. I mean, just seeing like the progression of like the fitness jumps people have made over the years is just like mind blowing. And man,
Yeah.
you're very, very special. Love you to death. You're my big sister. Love your family. I can't thank you guys enough for just being a part of our our family. And yeah. Hopefully I'll be up in some workouts in December when we come to visit you guys.
Yeah, we want you.
Yeah.
I have a weekend in mind. Okay,
So.
good. All right, love you, Kerns. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Start Before You're Ready. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who might need a little motivation. Ready to start your own journey? Check out our workouts and nutrition coaching programs at kellysbootcamp.net. You can choose from in-person sessions or virtual programs. Set up a complimentary coaching session to get started. Follow along with me and the show on social media at Kellys_bootcamp. Until next time, this is Kelly Young reminding you that the best time to start is always now.